Here with Elijah Crawford, though, freshman point guard, first NCAA tournament experience, and I did want to kind of just catch that as somebody who's never really been here before to the NCAA tournament. What's kind of your first trip like, I guess, to the dance?
So far it's been great. I'm just trying to soak it all in and, you know, hopefully we go far so I can really get to experience the tournament. But overall, so far it's been great.
What do you make of this arena? I think it's the second time you guys have been in an NBA arena
Mm.
here in Denver. It's a little
Uh,
different from the
yeah,
Douglas Center,
I
right?
actually haven't been in there yet, but from like that, just walking in, it seems pretty big, and I think we'll pack it out with
Yeah.
it basically being a home game for us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you mentioned kind of walking in because I've noticed the last couple games, and maybe I just missed this during the regular season, but it was definitely this way in Kansas City last week. You're always the first person on the court. You walk out on the court alone by yourself. You usually got your headphones on,
Mhm.
earbuds in, or something. Just and you just take a seat on the bench, sort of trying to, I guess, soak in the atmosphere. Just
Right.
what is it about kind of getting out there early that you just like being that first guy out? I guess.
I say I do that just for like just to get a focus.
Mm,
Go out there and, like you said, kind of just soak the moment in and just touch the floor, be the first one out there, and I don't know. It's kind of like a routine. I do it every trip, every game. I'll just go out there, sit, watch some fans, interact with some fans, and get up extra shots as well sometimes.
yeah. Is that your thing every game, home and away, or is it
Yeah,
mostly away games?
I'll say I do that every game.
Every game.
Yeah.
Okay. What what do you kind of what do you kind of do there? I guess when you're trying to focus, is it more meditative? Do you have like a certain playlist that you're listening to, or
No, I just depends on the day. I'll be listening to some R&B, some rap, just switch it up.
okay,
But I'll just kind of like just get a at peace moment while
okay,
I'm out there by myself. I don't have to talk to anyone. I'm just basically just chilling, trying to get a feel for the floor and
sure.
where we'll be playing.
Who's the guy in charge of the playlist on this trip right now? Who's got the fire tunes?
Um, I gotta say, right now this playlist, I'll say Hurricane Wisdom. You
Okay.
know, yeah.
Who's in charge of that one? Is that your pre-made one or is that
Oh
the
no,
team
it's
one?
not a playlist. It's an artist. That's what I've been
I mean,
on.
you got a Hurricane Whistle like a full list going on right now, or is that just kind of
It's a
the
couple of his songs I've just been had on repeat.
okay, okay. Um, the this NCAA tournament experience, it feels like this is a group that has kind of been here. There are a lot of players on this team that have been here. Obviously, you haven't,
Yeah.
but have you been able to feel some of that experience kind of rubbing off just in practices the last couple of days in the locker room on travel? Like,
Hmm.
hey, this is what's up, and don't get it twisted, don't get bright eyed, that kind of thing. Have you been able to feel that at all?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's been like that. What you just described for like the last 2 months, like that run we went on. It started because of our approach in practice. Like
Hmm,
every day we're bringing it. Like our practices are a lot shorter, but like we go really hard in that short amount of time. So it's like, I mean, everything that I'm seeing now and all the success that we're having now is from what we're doing in practice. So
sure,
that's just the starting point.
for sure. Who's kind of the go-to leader on this team? Who's really stepping up and sort of being maybe a little extra vocal in the locker room, on the court, in practice, that kind of thing? Who are kind of some of the big leaders on this team?
I would say some big leaders are, obviously Trevin. He's been here. Richie's a leader, and I'll say Dallin.
Kevin, Richie, and Dallin. So
Yeah,
all guys that have not just college experience but BYU experience.
right.
Um, is that something pretty important on this team? Is guys who know, obviously, with the you've got a first year head coach, most of the staff's first year, to have guys like that who sort of know BYU and know kind of what this program's about.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Like just from a culture standpoint, those guys they set the tone, and um, you always got to have a coaching staff within the team, like within the players, and those are the best teams, which are the player-led teams. So I feel like it's very vital and important to have that within the locker room.
For sure, for sure. You're winding down on your freshman season. This has been a year where you've actually gotten some pretty decent minutes coming in as a pretty highly touted freshman and that sort of thing. A lot of freshmen, though, they like to sort of kind of take a year, maybe adapt, acclimate, redshirt, that sort of thing. You didn't seem very interested in that right away. Did you just feel like you could play, or did you want to get that experience, even if it was maybe being behind some of the veteran guys or guys like Diego or that kind of thing in your position?
Uh, shoot. I don't really
Did you
know how
feel
to
like
answer
did
that
you feel like
question.
you wanted to play right away though? I mean, and
Yeah,
like you were ready to play.
yeah, I feel like I was. I mean, obviously things ain't going my way, but I feel like I'm ready to play, and I'm still staying ready. So whenever my opportunities present, I'll take advantage of it.
I was gonna say, and you got it, and you got a decent amount of minutes, even kind of late in the game in Kansas City. There, what have you learned about yourself through your first year with BYU and in college basketball in general? I guess.
I would say I figured out a lot about myself being here these however many months. Just being mentally tough was the biggest thing. Like I've been through a bunch of up and downs this season, but I would say just being mentally tough and grinding it out. That's the biggest thing I've had to face this year was just mentally being able to stick with it and stay strong.
Yeah, when you talk about being mentally tough, has that made you a better player too?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're watching on the sideline, like you're gonna be better regardless. So like when I'm watching the game from a different point of view, which is the
Sure.
sideline, like I see so much more stuff, and it just helps me with my game as well. Like if one of my teammates make a mistake, I know not to go in and do that
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
for sure, for sure. It's easier to learn from when somebody else touches the hot stove
Yeah,
than when you do, right? When you burn yourself.
right.
Last question. I'll get you out of here on this because I couldn't not sit down with Eli Crawford and not talk about a couple viral moments you've had
Hmm.
on the bench. You had one last week
Yeah.
that Kid Team's over here just staring.
Hmm.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about,
Hmm.
exactly where I'm going here. Do you plan some of those bench sellies, or do they just kind of happen, or are you kind of spontaneous like that?
I'll just say it's spontaneous. Um, shoot, I mean, I've never really been on the bench this much in my life, so like, I mean, it just happens. Like I never really planned it because I never really, but shoot, it just happens.
Do you feel
Great
like some
moment.
of that kind of gives some energy to those guys though? Because I see
Oh yeah,
like when Trevin hits a three and you react that way, he looks right at you right away. Do you feel like it kind
yeah,
of it sparks the team?
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much my role right now. Just bringing energy to the guys, helping the guys get better in practice, and just continuing to be a great teammate. I feel like that's where I'm helping the team right now is just having that energy and
Yeah,
being that spark for those guys and always uplifting those guys when they need it or when they're already uplifted. So I'm just there to help my teammates right now.
for sure. For sure.